Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Talented Learning Executive Briefing Series. This is my favorite series of content because we get to travel the worldwide virtually and see the best learning solutions and the best learning systems tech the world has to offer. And today's no different. We're all the way over in Israel. We're with the CEO and founder of myQuest, Eden Curtis. And Eden and his team has built a unique and a novel approach to how to approach the learning experience. And we're going to learn all about it today. Eden, take it away.
Hey, John, thank you so much for inviting me. Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. So my name is Idan. I'm the founder and CEO at myQuest. We started the company over a decade ago, and really what we are focusing here at myQuest is how to help people and employees to build skills more effectively. And when we are looking at skill building, there are many different, I would say, phases for the skill building. Phase one is when we're looking at the formal training. This is what we deliver through our LMS, which is quite unique, and I'll talk about it in a second, but really how you can take a person from no knowledge about a certain skill and really upskill them and make sure that this person can do their job effectively. And then we have the phase two, which is the post-training, when people go back to their work. How can we make sure that we can support people with the skill gaps that they still might have, right? People always have questions after training, and what we provide as a whole is, a holistic ecosystem for organization, to make sure that they can upskill their employees. So this is a quick introduction about us and who we are. John, would you like me to start doing some presentation about each one of our solutions?
The power's all yours. You can share your screen.
Right. So what we'll do right now, we will start with the formal training phase. This is basically our LMS. And what I'm sure all of you have seen so many different LMSs in the past, and there is also sometimes bad reputations for LMSs because many times people see learning through an LMS more of as a chore versus an opportunity to grow, because in many LMSs, the learning is very passive. You just see a video, you see a document, you click next, but there is nothing too exciting there. And when we started the company, this was actually our first product. We really wanted to bring a new approach for learning. It wasn't just about creating, a new interface or some new features. We really started in developing a new way to deliver training for people. And in order to do this, we also developed our own learning model. And our learning model was developed based on many years of research, looking at the fields of learning, but also in the fields of psychology and games and also behavioral change field. And we really wanted to create something which will create long-lasting behavioral change. And what we've seen is just by watching passive content, it doesn't create a behavioral change for people. So when people watch content and then they go back to work, 2 weeks later, they will probably forget more than 80% of what they've learned. And really, if we're looking at, the science behind our learning management system is actually the AFT learning model. And the model is very simple, but it's very powerful. So A stands for action. It means that when we deliver training to our employees, or maybe also to our customers, we want to make sure that they take action. We want to give them activities, because if we make sure that the learners are active, then what happened, they actually experience the content and then they retain the content for the long term. Now, after someone is taking an action, we want to make sure that we can provide learners with feedback. So today in many LMSs, you just watch a video, you watch a SCORM package, and then it's just you there, and sometimes there is a forum, but it's not very active. We actually embedded into our LMS many different capabilities to get feedback for every activity. So for example, I can get the feedback from a coach, from a manager, maybe from an accountability partner, or maybe from a community. These days, we're actually working on a new AI capability that I can actually get the feedback from, in a way, AI coach that can learn the content and can, maybe I have a question, maybe I'm doing a cybersecurity training. I have a question, what are the 3 biggest threats for our organization? I can just reply with 2 correct threats and one wrong and a wrong one, and then the AI can automatically, fix my answer and help me to improve. But the fact that, you can get feedback is very important. And the last element is trigger. We really want to make sure that we can trigger people to go and take the next step. This is why we're sending people with automatic notifications and making sure that after every action they take, they get feedback, and then maybe a few hours later or the next day, we trigger them with a personalized notification so they can go and take the next step. So this is really the backbone of our LMS. What I would love to do right now is actually show you an example for a training in the LMS, so you can see how it actually look like. So we will start going inside of one specific training, and then we can also zoom out and see other capabilities in the LMS. John, any question from your end so far? Anything you want to add on top of what I've just shared?
You're the instructional designer in me just loves the approach. I can't wait to see it. Keep going, please.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So let me go into one training. So really, what you see here, this is like an example of a leadership training. So off the bat, you can see it looks very different than a traditional training in an LMS. It's like, in a way, we build and design every training like a game, even like a game. So I'm starting at level 1. Each level has a theme. So this level is like why I'm taking this training. And you can see that in this level, I have different activities that I need to take. You see, I have mission 1, mission 3, and mission 1, 2, and 3, and then we have a meeting. Once I'll complete this level, I can unlock the next one. So when instructional designer is using our authoring tool, they can very easily build those missions, build these levels, and they don't need to use any external tool in order to populate content. Now, if I'm going to look at the first mission, now in every mission, you can add your videos, you can add some text about the mission, some tips, some attachment, but really the heart of each mission is really this section, what's my mission? And in this mission, we always want to make sure that we provide the learner with an activity to do in this mission. John, from your perspective, after so many years in the L&D space, why do you think it's important to give people an activity and not just, providing them, just the video, for example?
I just think you learn by doing, or that's an additional way to learn. And so if you learn by hearing and doing, you're doubling up on your opportunities, I would think, to retain the knowledge.
Exactly, you got it right. And the fact that people are active in the learning, it's a whole new ballgame, right? So we want to make sure that people are taking action. So right now I can acknowledge that I've just done the first mission. And now what we have here is also very special, John, because we provide the learning instructor the ability to pre-create questions that will be that they can ask the learner after each activity. So for example, here, after my first activity, this is Sue, she is the facilitator of this training. And now she's asking me a question about, what is my why in this training, why I want to take this training. Now, why this is so powerful? First, it allows me the opportunity to reflect on my latest activity. And again, it's all about knowledge retention, right? We want to create impact in the organization. It's not just about ticking the box. So the fact that people reflect on their activities really helps with knowledge retention. It really helps to make sure that, we're starting to create a behavioral change. Now, on top of that, this also gives me the opportunity to get some feedback. And now I can share this answer either with Sue, and Sue can be my manager, she can be a coach, she can be accountability partner, maybe another learner taking the same training with me, and soon it can be also an AI coach. And I also have the opportunity to share it with the community. And the community, think about this if you're doing training with cohorts, or maybe there is one big cohort for all the people taking the same training. We want to create peer learning. We want to make sure that people can help and support each other. So in this example, maybe I will share this with Sue. And now I can go to the one-on-one coaching tab. And basically, this is my personal space between me and my coach, or me or my accountability partner. And now Sue can see what I wrote, and she can reply back to me. So we always want to make sure that people can get feedback and people are not feeling isolated. Now, if I would share this with the community, here you can see in the My Community tab, you can see, all the comments that people shared in the community. Now, I'll tell you, John, what's really unique about these communities compared to traditional LMSs. So in many LMSs, you don't have any social elements, which is really critical to create high engagement. But in some LMS, you can find some social elements. But what you'll find there is many times you'll find just maybe a forum for a course. And the thing with these forums is many times people are just asking some random questions, where can I find this document, or some technical questions, because these forums are really separate from the learning journey. Now here, the fact that as part of the learning journey, we're asking the learner some questions, and the learner we can redesign this. We can design this question in a way that, people can share some experiences from the learning. And then when other learners see these experiences, it's actually create communities that people really, inspire each other, and people can really support each other. So it's not just about, some technical discussion. It's really about creating a true peer learning in the organization. And guess what? Also, you as a facilitator, you can also mentor and facilitate the entire community. From here, you can just send message to everyone. You can send a video or a file or anything that you want, and then all the learners can get it. So this is what we covered. So now we just seen the first mission. We've seen the one-on-one coaching tab and the community tab. Now let's move on to the next mission. Let's see what other type of missions you can find in our LMS. So for example, on the next mission, we're just embedding some presentation deck, and you can embed any kind of third-party tool, SCORM package, anything that you want inside of a mission. And after I'm reading this presentation, now I need to answer some question. Now, this is, if the question before was like not something I must answer, in this case, this is really my mission. I need to answer all of these questions, and only after I answer this question, I can move forward in the training. And once I answer the question, again, if I have a coach, then my coach will see my what I wrote, and then my coach can provide me with some feedback. Now, after the second mission here, we have a questionnaire. So like any other LMS, you can embed a questionnaire, you can add quizzes, so this is quite standard. But the next thing that we have is actually a meeting mission. And really what's unique about this is in many organizations, we have blended learning experience, which means some of the learning is self-paced and some of the learning is in person. It can be on classroom, but it can be also on Zoom or on Teams. And many organizations struggle to synchronize everything under one platform. So, for example, maybe you want to give the learners some self-paced training materials, and then you want them to have a meeting, and you want to make sure that people don't do the rest of the training before the meeting, or maybe people show up to this meeting. So here you can actually embed these meetings as part of the learning journey. So you see here, I have a meeting on September the 20th, and we can block the learner progress before this meeting starts. And the system will send reminders to the learner before the meeting. And also after the meeting, the learner can also get access to the recording. So it's really a one-stop shop to manage both the in-person training and also the self-paced training under one solution. Now, right now, I just completed the first level, so I can unlock level 2. We use some gamification element, again, to encourage the learner in the training. So I just got some points, and maybe I can unlock some prizes. Like the organization maybe can give me some gift card if I reach a certain amount of points. And we also use, some, we call it the quest map. We use some maps also to give some, more inspiring feeling for the learner. So right now I can see that I'm on mission 4. I'm at level 2. I can see who else is with me on this mission. and I can see what I have ahead of me. And we have many different themes for the map. Many times we do custom themes for organization with the brand identity as part of this map. And if you're looking at white labeling, so everything that you're seeing here, everything is, you can white label it. The colors, the domain, the logo, so everything is fully customizable and white labeled. And everything is also mobile first as well. So you can work on any device, you can access the training. Now, the last thing I want to show you from the learner perspective is actually our habit formation tool. So many times, especially in soft skills training, we want to make sure that people take action, but they can do it on a daily basis until they create a new habit. For example, this is a leadership training, and right now we are teaching the manager to how to do a daily meeting with their team. Some other example of daily activities can be in a safety training. Make sure that you got the right gear before you start your daily walk, or make sure you wash your hands, maybe in a restaurant, if you walk in a restaurant, after you go to the restroom. And there are so many different, example of some activities that ideally we want our employees to adopt on a daily basis. So this is why we have our habit formation tool. So basically here, after I'm doing this mission, I can unlock it as a new habit. And then every day the system will remind me to check in with my habits. I can unlock some habit challenges as I make progress in the training. And it's really all about, make sure that we can translate learning into a behavioral change. Now, all this unique learning format that you're seeing here you can see we have more type of mission like quizzes and other elements, but I don't want to go too deep into the demo. But everything that you're seeing here, this can be a standalone LMS. So many organizations are using this platform as their standalone LMS. But some organizations, they already have an LMS. They have maybe, they still, no way they're gonna replace their LMS, but they do want to have this unique learning format. So what they can do, they can just, use our authoring tool, build this training, export those into SCORM, and then play those in their internal LMS. So this is also something that we provide to many of our customers. John, before I move on to, the authoring tool and what does it take to build such a program, love to, hear your thoughts and also to see if you have any feedback or questions so far.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. I agree with everything. As it turns out, I think your assessment on social learning, I think in general in learning systems is probably spot on. It seems to be threaded discussion groups, accessible from a course, kind of, or in a different place in the, and just not focusing on the day to day. I really love how you brought that into the activities, working with a coach. So this doesn't have to be with every course, but it could be with your most strategic courses that you have the coaches and where behavioral change is mandatory, not option. And so, that's probably one of the best examples I've seen of bringing it right into the element like that. That's pretty cool. And just the idea of being able to set this thing up in such a gamified way is different. It's more enhanced than what you would typically see. It's normally like when you're done, okay, hey, you got 25 points, but it's not the intra mission activities, that just keep on spurring you along in the habits too. So probably too much feedback there, but yeah.
No,
cool
there is not too much feedback. Thank you for this. And really, when we designed this solution, we really wanted to look at learning from the beginning. We didn't want to just, keep settling on, things that doesn't really work. We really wanted to start from, a blank page and really think, what are the most powerful way to engage people? So, it's the fact that you have someone who is accountable for you, that you have also some peers that work with you, the fact that is fun and gamify, the fact that you actually learn by doing and not just by listening. So we took all of these factors, and from all of these, we created the AFT learning model, and then we created the platform and the solution. Now, what I want
one last point real quick, that is, I think, is really important and differentiates is the concept of cohorts.
Yeah.
I think just in general, talking about the use of this with cohorts is would be great for your organization, because so few LMSs are good with cohorts. And any professional organization, association, they just have, for example, as well as a lot of employee learning, the concept of cohorts is so prevalent. And this is a whole new way of doing it.
Yeah, it's
I'd talk about it more that with the marketing hat on.
yeah, you can think about like onboarding training codes, leadership training codes. Like there are so many different type of training in the organization. Maybe you just want to have a training for your own specific team. So, and then you want this person to be a mentor for that team. So it gives you so many options. And many organizations are using this for their internal employees. Many organizations are using this also for customer training. So for example, you can
Smart.
become the coach of your customer, right? Like their personal coach, and you can see what your customers are doing. Sometimes it can be for training for product and training for implementation, different products. But sometimes we also have lots of training companies that are using this solution, to build like soft skills training and then deliver this training to their customers as well. So we're seeing many different type of organizations that are utilizing this tool. Now, what I want to show you right now is I want to show you a few things. One, with any LMS, you want to think, okay, so what the learners see when they have multiple programs, so what is the learner dashboard and what's available for them? And also I want to talk a little bit about the building process, because one of the things that I've seen today is that in many organizations, the L&D team, you can have like few people responsible for like hundreds or thousands of learners, and they always fall short when it comes to resources. They don't have a lot of time. They need something effective that works for them, and we put also lots of emphasis in this system to make it as easy as possible to create new content or to use pre-existing content and deliver effective training to their employees or their customers. So this is what I want to show right now. I'll share my screen again, and I'll go over it. So first I want to show you the learner dashboard. So basically, at the beginning, we have seen what the learners see in a particular program. Now I'm actually zooming out, and this is what I'm seeing when I'm actually logging into the LMS. So I can see like these are myQuest. These are all the programs that are assigned to me. So here I can just browse these programs. By the way, all the programs that you're seeing here, we provide this program for free as part of our LMS. So if a company purchases this LMS, they get about a library of about 30 different programs like sexual harassment prevention, building trust, leadership, cybersecurity, diversity and equity. So all these programs, they get it for free. Some of the program, you can have those as a compliance program, so people will have a due date. Obviously, you can track everything, like any other LMS, right? You can also build some learning path. So for example, this is a learning path for leadership. So I'm starting with this program. And once I'll complete it, I can unlock the next program. So as an LMS administrator, I can assign different programs to different roles in the organization and create different groups and really manage the entire learning in the organization like any other LMS. And I can also make sure that some of the programs, might be available for people. Maybe these programs are not assigned, but then I have a library of content, and then, people can just access this library. Maybe right now I want to do a course about feedback, so I can just search for feedback, and then I can find the relevant course for me, and I can do this. So this is like the dashboard for the learner. Now, what I want to do right now, I want to go into the admin, and I want to show you what does it take to build a course. So this is actually the admin. This is not all the employees will see it, only the instructional designers and the LMS administrator or the mentors will have access to the admin. Now, what's really unique about our LMS, that it's also come in with a built-in authoring tool. This means that you can very easily, you can create new content. Like, for example, right now I'm building a new program, so I can add some missions. Maybe I want to name this level. I can call it Let's Start. So everything that I'm writing on the right side, you can see it on the left side. If I want to edit a mission, I can just click on the mission. Now I can just give the mission name. Maybe I want to paste a video. So maybe have something on YouTube. Let me just real quick. No, I want YouTube, not YouTube Theater. And maybe I'll just pick a random video from YouTube. Okay, so maybe a YouTube of Mr. Beast. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but I can just click on the video, I can select video, I can paste the link. I can also upload videos, but I can also embed the link. So everything is really easy to use. You can just click on the section, just type in your content. Maybe you want to add external content from Google Sheet, Google, Calendly. We support many tools. We also have the ability to integrate with many third-party tools, so it's not necessarily a standalone solution. You can maybe when someone complete a mission, you want to send something to your CRM or to your HR system. So we support this as well. So this is really the builder. So usually it takes 1/3 of the time to build course with this builder compared to all these authoring tools that you need to have professional knowledge in order to work with them. And the results, it's actually much more interactive. Now, one thing which is also very unique in the way that we work is that we actually provide each one of our customers with a project manager, who is also an instructional designer. And we provide unlimited support to our customers, helping them to build training, helping them to, we can review the training, we can give them technical support. So many times customers come to us, I'm having this leadership training, this is what I've built, can you help me to improve it? And we don't charge extra for this, it's all included. And really, what's unique about our project managers is that they've worked with hundreds of customers in the past, seen thousands of different programs. By now, they know what works, what doesn't work, how to create this high engagement. So it's another significant value add that we can provide to our customers, because eventually, for us, what's really important, and this is really like the mission of the company, is to help people build skills more effectively, right? And create a change for the better. So we want to be as accountable for our customers as, the mentor is accountable for the learner on the platform as well. So these are some other elements. One of the things that I didn't show here in the demo, and we can show it to relevant, potential prospects if it's relevant. Like in the admin, you can see all the analytics and manage different languages and all the settings and create learning groups. And there are lots of, LMS capabilities, which I think people have seen those like hundreds of times in the past. So I don't want, to keep showing the same thing again and again, but we support all of these traditional LMS capabilities. You can also play content in the LMS, which is not necessarily a quest. You can upload a SCORM package, you can upload a video, a webinar, so you can also play content which is not necessarily in this unique format, but this unique format is what really makes the LMS stand out compared to other LMS in the market.
Wow, cool, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you can really just pick your most strategic punches, and that's what you can put your time in creating big quests, or big change programs, change management programs, manager training. There's like just applications of really from an internal standpoint, or an external standpoint, things that are just super high priorities, then you can really give an engaging experience. I mean, maybe not just only them, but maybe that's where you start, and you can build it up over time to more and more of your content.
Nice. Absolutely. And if companies are working with us, we can also provide them pre-made content that we have from our library. They can build it, and we can also provide it to them. We
Jump
even
start.
also have a quest writing service. So many companies that work with us, they just give us like PDF or some articles, and we actually build the training for them. So this is also something that we know how to do. Now, we covered, remember at the beginning, we talked about skill building ecosystem. So this is one part of the skill building ecosystem. But, you know, especially, you know, when COVID started and you know, it gave everyone some time to reflect on, you know, what can I do? What's the next thing I want to build? What, you know, what's still missing in the market? Like, how can we push learning and skill building even forward? And this brings me to the second part of our skill building ecosystem, which is our app for Microsoft Teams that deliver the learning in the flow of work. So, you know, many companies can just get this section or this section. Sometimes we bundle both together. But the learning in the flow of work is very important, because what we have seen in the last 10 years that we are working with organization is that you can provide the best training in the world. People will still have some skill gaps post the training, right? And actually, if you're looking at reports by McKinsey consulting groups, you find that employees are spending about 20% of their time searching for information and trying to close skill gaps in the organization. So this is a huge problem for organizations. And, you know, we will trying to think, we always try to push the boundaries and really come up with new innovative ideas. And we will try to think, what can we do in order to make sure that, you know, when someone completes the training and they go back to their daily work, how we can support them. So this is why we created the myQuest Connect Teams app. We actually created a partnership with Microsoft. And this app is actually very unique, because what it does, it supports employees with any questions they might face during their daily work. So the way it works is quite simple, but yet it's very powerful. Whenever an employee faces a question, they can simply click on the app, and I'll show it in a demo in a second, and they can simply ask their question. The first level of support that we'll provide them is using AI to source, you know, different information that we have in the organization. We can also create FAQ per organization. And if, you know, this question is already documented or we have it in the FAQ, we can automatically send the solution to the employee. Maybe we can even give them a link to a relevant training program. So the first level of support is searching in something which is documented. But what we have seen is that only about, if you're looking at the true knowledge of the organization, only about 3% of it is actually documented. 97% of the knowledge of any organization is in people's heads, and it's not very simple to unlock that knowledge, because how can you know who to reach out, especially in large organization? So when someone is asking a question, if we couldn't find, you know, a documented information that can help them, what we do next, we find the relevant key user or subject matter expert in the organization who can help. And once we find someone who can help, we connect those two folks together through Microsoft Teams. They can have a chat with each other. The subject matter expert can help with the question. And then after that, we can also collect what was the solution for that question, so we can automatically add it to the knowledge base. So not just that we are adding people in real time at their work, but actually it's a great tool to start building knowledge base just by connecting people together. And many organizations are using this, you know, for learning, to create learning in the flow of work, but also some very common use cases are like tech adoption or change management. You know, right now you're implementing a new ERP in the organization, right? And so many people have questions, and suddenly they have, you know, one-stop shop on Teams to ask these questions and either get a solution automatically or connect them with a subject matter expert. You can use this also for sales and any process in the organization which is a bit complex, and people will have lots of questions about it. Now,
It's really cool. You done.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Cool.
Now, what I want to do right now, maybe I'll share my screen and we'll show actually how it works. So let me do that. Can you see my Microsoft Teams?
I can.
Okay, great. So what I did here, I opened 3 different users. So this is Mike. Here you can see Sydney, and this is Jonathan. These are 3 different employees in the organization. And you see here on the left, we have the Connect bot. This is our app. It's always accessible for people from their desktop or also from their mobile. And it's a white label app. So every organization, they choose their own name for the app, their own logo. So let's say that right now I have a question. So I can simply click on the app. I can say hi, or I can just ask my question right away. If I just said hi, then the app will be nice and reply back to me, hey, Mike, I'm here to help. Do you have any questions or need assistance? So I can say yes. And now I can ask my question. So maybe actually we just deployed Salesforce in the organization, and now I just got a new employee to my team, and I want to add that employee to Salesforce. I'm not sure how to do that. So I can just ask the app, how do I add a new a new user, maybe user to Salesforce. Okay, and then I can choose what is the expertise which is required to answer my question. Because remember, if we can't find something in the knowledge base, we want to find the relevant person who can help you. So I'm actually looking for people who are really good with technology tools, and this is fully customizable. Any organization can customize this list. So in this case, I'm looking for something around technology tools and in Salesforce. And now I can send the question. What's happened next is we go to level 1 of support, which is basically searching for the relevant information, documented information that would be able to help me. So you see, like 3 minutes later, not minutes, 3 seconds later, I just got a link to an article, which this is actually an external article that in Salesforce that explains me step by step how to add a new user, but it could be something also internal on SharePoint, or maybe to the internal knowledge base that the organization has. But basically, we want to provide the employee as fast as possible with the solution for their question. Now, if this was helpful, I can just click the check button and then we're done. But maybe I still need help. So I can just simply click this button that I still need help. And then what will happen, the app will go and we go to level 2 of support. The relevant key user or the relevant subject matter expert who can help me. And remember, 97% of the knowledge in the organization is not documented. It's in people's heads. And we really want to unlock that knowledge. So right now we reach out to Jonathan and we're asking Jonathan, hey, Jonathan, are you able to help one of your colleagues with the following question? Now, Jonathan can see this question. He still doesn't know who asked this question. And now he can say whether he's happy to help right now. Maybe he's busy and he can help later. Or maybe it's not really the right question for him. Maybe we mismatch the question with the person. It can also happen. So let's say that Jonathan is actually busy. He can't really help. So what we will do, we will just say thank you to Jonathan. And then we'll move on to the next expert in the organization who might be able to help with this question. So we actually reach out now to Sydney, asking her the same question. And if Sydney says that she is happy to help right now, what's going to happen next? We're going to say, great, thank you for your willingness to help. Click the button below to connect directly with Mike. Mike is waiting for your help. So now Sydney can simply click this button, connect with Mike. Again, we want to create the most simple experience for people. It has to be simple unless people won't use it, right? And so Sydney can just click on this button and click send. We even prepared the message for Sydney to send to Mike. And now if you'll go back to Mike's account, you see I just got a message from Sydney. You know, she reached out to me like 3 minutes or 4 minutes after I asked this question. I can reply to her, and now she can provide me with the solution. So think about large organizations with so many different experts and people in the organization. This allows you to suddenly create a skill map of different employees in the organization and find relevant experts for any question or any process in the organization. You know, this question was quite, I would say, simple, like how to add a new user to Salesforce, but maybe I want to ask something about internal process in the organization or something that, you know, only few people actually know how to do it and I can't find it on the web. And this is a great tool for you to do this. And now the last...
Remember over time who answered questions and how they answered them, or are you tracking?
Absolutely. So behind the scene, we give a score per employee per skill, and we also give them a score for how available are they. And this is how we know who is the best person to answer each question. And we also try to balance it. So we want to make sure it's not just one person who gets all questions about Salesforce, for example, even though it might be the best expert in Salesforce. And one also, yeah, another common question that people are asking is, how do we know who is the expert for Salesforce? Or how do we know who is the right person to answer the question? So before we go live with this tool, we're actually doing a quick mapping where we just send people, either the organization can choose, if it's a small organization, maybe they have, 20 experts, or they can just choose John can help with this and Emily can help with that. But when we are looking at large enterprises, we just send everyone a survey where they can just choose what are the tools or what are the expertise that they might think they have, and they can help others with this expertise. And then the app start assess their ability to help by every time that we connect someone who is an expert, then actually this is what I'm going to show you right now. We reach out again to the person who asked the question and ask that person if he got or she got the help they needed. Now, if I'll say no, then we can find another expert, or maybe we can open a ticket in the organizational ticketing system. But if I'll say yes, now what's going to happen, I'm actually, it gives me the opportunity to submit the solution for this question. It can give me either me or the expert to help me the opportunity to submit the solution. And then after verification, this solution will automatically be added to the company's knowledge base. So the next time when another person asks a similar question, we can automatically help that question because someone else already answered it in the past. So not just that it can connect you with information and with people, it actually learn over time. And, if you think of some of the benefits of the tool beyond increasing productivity is the fact that you can build knowledge base organically. And also the fact that you start connecting people together and let them help each other, it really creates a good atmosphere in the organization. Some organization, it really reduces the churn rate in the organization. And, eventually it's all about employee development. So it's a great tool to develop your employees.
A very nice complementary mix to what's more than a learning management system, a learning system, an authoring system, and then really there's so many applications for the third part of myConnect, and to unlock and really I don't know how you draw a metric to how much that's costing the organization to have 90% or 97% of that knowledge unlocked. Yeah. But you can see how you can just start unlocking it percent by percent, as you put this into place, and with customer service organizations, with sales organizations in general, how to overcome this objection, who's the best on this competitor or this competitor. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff that's not documented anywhere because it'd be too much of a challenge that, that you can get documented this way. Because if you tried to plan for all those questions up front, you just collapse under the weight of such a project. Because it's 97% of the knowledge. Yeah, yes, interesting.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And
interesting approach.
Another cool thing that you can have with this is in the admin, you can see what are the knowledge gaps in the organization. So you can just filter, show me all the questions that are related to, I don't know, to sales and pricing. And then you can see what your salespeople, what do they ask about pricing? And you can, zoom into different areas in the organization, and you can understand what are the skill gaps. And you can also understand who are the experts who help to close these gaps. So you can see both angles, and it's a very valuable insight. And then you can go back to the LMS and build training how to handle maybe pricing objections, because you see that many of your sales team, they're not sure how to handle these objections. So eventually it's a holistic solution, from the beginning, how to deliver the training in the most effective way. Then when we go to work, how to support people at work. And then we can take it back to training and get some insight. What is the next training that we want to build and design?
Mm-hmm. Is it possible or practical or ever needed to separate this into, kind of one group for sales or one group for, something else, or just by the nature of knowing who people are, it's separated automatically?
It's separated. You remember when I asked the question, he asked me what is the relevant expertise for my question. So based on this, it knows to direct the question to the relevant person. But usually it's one app for the organization. You don't have to, by the way, get everyone on the app. You can just pick and choose. So, and the deployment is very easy and simple. It takes like half an hour and everyone in the organization can have it because it's an app for Microsoft Teams. And yeah, and you can, it's a great way to unlock all of this knowledge and start creating better collaboration and peer learning in the organization.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, some
John,
great.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I said some great innovation and just a nice mix of the pieces that you pulled together in a real practical standpoint in your solution. You know, an LMS is an LMS to some degree. It manages content, it manages learners, and you know the interrelationship between the two. But the areas that you pushed it forward are areas that are difficult to push forward. I think traditionally, and that's why you don't see a ton of that success in those areas in the market. But I think the whole concept of integrating gamification through from every level of the terminology to, but not in a silly kid way, but just in a nice way that over time, you know, you build up your points, you build up your rewards, you make it practical that you can cash it in for swag or gift cards and, you know, and just make that a part of the culture of an organization. I think is good. And to be able to take, you know, the 30 courses that you provide, but, you know, high value, you know, impacting content or that you want to be impacting content and use that as you know, a strategic way to change behavior in your organization is what all organizations are striving for. They're trying to do this, but they're trying to do it with a, you know, a handful of sometimes unrelated tools. And you know, another area of differentiation I just don't think I've seen yet is the concept of putting an instructional designer as part of the team. So being able to help people in a holistic way now deploy this and utilize best practices and review content and do that as part of the overall agreement or the overall partnership is a real nice level of customer service. I think that you know, I don't see it every day or any day to that degree. So that's pretty cool. And as I mentioned before, just the concept of cohorts, you know, you couldn't talk about that enough.
Yeah.
Come on,
If you will say that,
someday.
yeah, there is a common theme in both of the products, which is about connecting people together, right?
Yeah.
You'll see that in both products, both in the LMS and also in the Microsoft Teams app. Eventually, I really believe in human connection. I really believe that, you know, we're stronger together and people, you know, an organization is strong as the bonds between its employees, right? And in both products, we put lots of emphasis on this. Like if it's in the LMS, you can work with the mentor or the accountability partner or maybe with the community. And if it's the Microsoft Teams app, you know, it's all about connecting you with peers who can help you. So we really want to eventually create tools that empower people to work better with each other and to support each other.
Yeah. I could see that. The applications are endless, for sure, on groups working together, from kids to teams to social organizations to associations. I mean, there's so many applications to where 90% or more of the knowledge is trapped somewhere unattainable. So, well, in any case, we've reached the end of another good hour. Thank you very much, Edom, for stopping by and sharing your solution and your innovative approach. Listeners or viewers, I told you this was a unique combination of innovative technology. The nice thing is that it's not all or nothing. So, you know, if you have an LMS, you know, you're stuck on your LMS, you're not getting off it for the next 20 years. It doesn't prohibit you from having top-notch content for some of your content anyway. So it's a nice middle ground for those organizations that may be entrenched, to say the least. But the other part is that the Microsoft Teams app, however, is not something that's entrenched anywhere in the industry. So that's something that's, you know, can augment you know, a learning system for any organization. So there you have it, listeners. There's my unofficial plug for myQuest. Hope to see you on the next. And now you can see why this is my favorite series of content. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you on the next.